Okay, we're recording now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heal Yourself Naturally. I might have to turn off some of, wow. Can you see my video okay?
I see you very well.
Okay.
But
Welcome to Heal Yourself Naturally. This is Hava and I am Sarah, and Nicole can't be with us today, but we are talking about everything about the mouth. So as you know, if you've been following us, we have been going down the body, starting at the head, and eventually we'll make it to the feet maybe by 2026. I don't know. But it doesn't matter because this is fun and informative, and it's kind of a deep dive into issues of the body, starting with the head. Today, we're all about the mouth. So, we're going to be talking about teeth problems, canker sores, cold sores. Maybe we'll even delve into jaw issues, but pretty much this area right here.
yep.
And we know that we can probably talk for more than an hour about mouth problems and not necessarily the problems people have with, like, talking too much, but we could go into the energetics of throat chakra if we wanted to, I suppose. Um, we always tend to touch on the energetic pieces of it, but the focus mainly is about the physical issues. So I guess we could break this down into
What usually we see, Sarah? Maybe we should just start. What are the main issues that we see that
yeah.
connect?
So why don't you start with the main issues that you see with the mouth while I turn on my light that I forgot to turn on to, and then people can see my face a little bit better.
Okay,
We're having technical issues. Can you tell?
it's absolutely normal. Okay, so I was thinking, well, the first issue that I always hear is about the canker sores. The canker
Oh, the
sores is
canker
the
sores. Yeah, for
the
sure.
canker sores that many young children they get it, some older children, and then as well as the adults they have this issue. So how should we treat the issue? What the problem is with it, and why we get it? And maybe we should speak about the basics, the root cause of the problem.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So I should start. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
start.
You
Well,
start. Go.
okay, fine. So, well, whenever we see the canker sores come in children, I usually see there is a gut imbalance, and usually the first question is if the children ate too much sugary stuff. Many times, when there is too much sugar in the diet, then the kind of it appears on the mouth, and it's because there is a parasite or fungi that actually goes out of the control and settles in those areas. So whenever you see your child start having some sort of a can care and stuff like that, that's a red light for you to wake up and look at the child's diet. Obviously, right away, remove all the sugary stuff the child should not have because it feeds the bacteria inside. So, no more. Now, obviously, many children are getting a very painful sores. The cankers are very painful. So, I would suggest a couple things. I'll just mention few, and then you can start. For number one, I would suggest to start with a good probiotics. I know that I speak a lot about probiotics for the last couple months because I figure out that everyone is lacking a good microbiome, and the sugar actually destroys the good microbiome. So, which probiotics I would suggest? Well, the super Darfulus strain is the one that I would suggest. That really helps. And I would give this a few times a day, a very small dosage. If it's a baby, I would start with like quarter teaspoon. If it's an adult, I would go even to the capsules, and I would open either the capsules, mix it in water, or even take a powder about teaspoon and mix it and chug it down. I would actually also swish it in the mouth if it's an adult. If the children, it's just you can mix with some yogurt, or but stay away from sugar again. So no yogurts with some sweeteners. That's not good. Not gonna do the job. So that's one thing. Next thing that I would suggest is to boost the immune system. So I usually suggest my quick immune boost formula, which is blend of echinacea and elderberries. It's amazing, and it boosts your immune system because that what you see comes to the surface. That just tells you that internally there is an imbalance and body is kind of thrown into the shock mode and feels like help me, and that's where we would usually suggest to provide some immune boosting herbs. So echinacea is my favorite. Other amazing herb that help from my experience, raspberry leaf tea is amazing. You can prepare raspberry leaf tea and just swish it down a couple times a day and drink it. Other thing that I also suggest is to really look into mineral imbalance, and that's the big issue with it. So I would suggest it again to go over the child's diet, get rid of the white bread and stuff like that, to stop feeding the bacteria. And I usually see a wonderful results. In about couple days that are they are healing so nicely. Then I also, in adults, there might be sometimes it will take longer, but what for adults I would suggest that they can use garlic. They can just take a garlic peels, or just cut the garlic in half and just apply over the sores. It will might be painful a little bit. I would suggest do not put straight garlic, but a little bit in the oil and then apply. And you can also chew it like this, and it will kill the fungi, parasite, or whatever is there. Or yeah, so that's what I would suggest.
I
Okay,
like
you.
it. Yeah. Now you go.
Oh no, it's your turn.
Yeah, I used to suffer from canker sores, and I do know a few people come in. It's probably not one of my main things, but they are annoying. And you hit on the source really well. It's a microbiome, a microbiota imbalance, because basically your mouth is a reflection of also what's going on in your gut. So I think sometimes too, when people put, like, when I was a kid, I would put the snorkels in my mouth, and then the next day I would get cankers. Well, I think adults
What would you put,
like
Sarah?
that's,
What is?
you know how when you go swimming, you can wear the snorkel with the,
Oh, okay.
and it would always give me sores, and I think it's because they probably weren't very clean.
Oh,
But it's an indication too that your biome is off, because if you introduce bacteria into your mouth and you can't deal with it, so it's a weakness, in my opinion, and it could be bacteria that causes the canker sores as well. It could be viral sometimes. So it just you're looking at the person, and obviously, in my opinion, I totally agree with you that there's something going on with the biome, the bacterial balance in the body and in the mouth. Um, and so yeah, I love that root cause. I think it totally makes sense. And what I normally use for canker sores and what I have in the past is bayberry bark. It's antimicrobial and it's also astringent. So anything kind of astringent is going to help. But I do mouthwashes with that. It works really well. And I also have, like, you can make a tea with the bark or a decoction. You can just simmer it for a couple of minutes, and then you put it in a jar and put it in your bathroom, and then it will last for a couple of days. Put it in the fridge, it will last a week or more. So you could do just a simple bayberry infusion, or I make a happy gums. I call it Happy Gums mouthwash, and it's got myrrh and yarrow and neem. And so it's astringent and they're healing, and that works really well too. So the remedies can there are a lot of remedies for canker sores. But
right.
really what you want to go for is something antimicrobial, something that will support the microbiome. So you want to do probiotics. And then you want to do something astringent. You know what I've also used is salt water swishes, which
Mm-hmm.
salt water is helpful at addressing the canker sore, and it's also um, really important to balance the microbiome in the mouth, because that's going to prop up the good bacteria as well. So, I mean,
True.
there's a lot of different remedies for that. And of course, don't put dirty stuff in your mouth, but it's not always the case, right? It's not always because we're putting stuff in our mouth. It's because we have an imbalance. Um,
True. And
yeah.
the babies, though, what I found is that, yeah, they do put, uh, they, they put dirty things, and sometimes they grab the socks and they, you have the socks. So that's the issue.
Yeah.
And I also forgot to say aloe vera.
Oh yeah.
Aloe vera is so good. It's
It's
soothing.
soothing.
See,
Yeah.
sometimes it's also the pain is the one that drives
Mm.
every crazy. It's like you feel like you have like something into, and it can actually progress and go down there. So
Oh,
that's very important to treat right away.
yeah.
um Aloe vera and marshmallow root. Oh, marshmallow, the soothing, your favorite marshmallow root. Well, the marshmallow root is so good. Why not to prepare a delicious ice pops? And
Oh, that's
if the
nice.
child is picky, then he can take the marshmallow root, right, and just
Yeah.
put it in the mouth. And many times, if the children are picky, we have to figure out the ways to deal with it. So why
Right.
not to put then the baby a little bit marshmallow, and for that purpose honey is okay, because honey is also antimicrobial. So
Hmm.
don't think that the honey is in the same level, in the same category as the sugar. That's very important to say, because we use the honey as in to fight different infections. We use this as a wound. So people should separate between the honey and the white sugar and the brown
Right.
sugar and all that stuff. Honey is a medicine.
Yes. That's amazing. Yeah, I love the honey idea. And you can make an ice pop. I love that idea for kids, and especially to soothe that whole area. And if it is going down the throat, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
now
canker
let's
sores.
yeah, canker sores. So we covered the canker sores.
We
Now
covered
let's
those.
time.
Those are pretty
We
common. I think
covered.
we should, what was that?
We covered.
We covered. Check.
Check.
So that's great. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the mouth. And of course, I think the number one thing that I see is, well, obviously cavities and gum disease.
Okay, so that's dentals. Okay.
Yeah, that's dental. Is that okay? We talk about that?
Sure, please
Okay.
go ahead.
Because it is like inside the mouth.
I agree.
Um, which, a lot of people suffer from gum disease, which is why I formulated the happy gums, because it's a common remedy. But, gum disease and teeth issues, again, we're talking about, the gut. We're right back to the gut again. We're talking about diet and bacterial balance. And so what do you think, Hava? Have you helped people with gum disease and
I have such a severe cases of pyorrhea, which is the gum disease when the roots suddenly get exposed, and I had couple cases of those. One is very severe, and I tell you honestly, um, that in those cases we really, exactly like you said, we need to look into into our microbiome again, because the bacteria that it's in gut, if it's there is too many bad guys, then they are traveling, unfortunately, at night, on when you are not eating, and they're settling between, and they start eating up. So it's basically some sort of a bacteria that's munching. Or actually, let's put it this way: people like to hear parasite.
mm,
It's like a
that's
kind
the
of
buzzword.
parasite. Yeah, I know. For now, everyone, like, everything is parasite. So, but it's kind of sort of a parasite or bacteria or
Yeah.
whatever is there, and which slowly munches on this area. So that's a gut imbalance. Number one, you need to treat your microbiome again. Yes, it is. So clean the bowels. Make sure that you do have a good microbiome. So in that case, obviously, again, we come to the taking a good source of probiotics, which is very important. It's absolutely important. And then next thing is to stop eating all the time. Many people are drinking and eating nonstop. So I found this a huge issue. At night, you should be ready with a little bit. Okay, so now I might go a little bit not on a healthy. suggestions, but I've seen that it's worked so nicely, and I will mention here her, but we can also tag her on. Maybe one time she willing to come on our show. Dr. Ellie, she has a couple books about the dental care. Mouse Care Comes Clean. That's her book.
Yeah.
It's not so healthy. So you might say, Hava, how the hell you speak about now? Because she is promoting Crest uh, toothpaste, and but classical Crest, not the one that invented now. And she also using a couple mouthwashes. And what she was able to create is like three different mouthwashes. And then she was a and the toothpaste, and the way she's switching the toothbrushes each time, and the use of xylitol. And I want to tell you that as much as I tried to treat the severe case of this pyorrhea, especially this guy's issue, only Dr. Ellie's protocol worked nicely.
Oh,
So I tried to use from Golden Seal antiseptic formula. I tried to use many other things. I used also some I have a dental powder with oak bark. And I
yeah.
want to tell you that obviously it depends on the human as well, like his behavior. This specific case would do something and then would just stop. But when you have the issue with the teeth, you cannot stop. You need to continue. It's ongoing process. It might take 6 months, year, 2 years. It's like similar the fungi that we have on the nail. It takes a very long time to reverse the whole damage, right? So the same thing, but in this case, the guy would do something, then he would stop, and then would go back again, and then so nothing really helped besides Dr. Ellie's protocol. So
What's the
um,
protocol?
the protocol is that she's using three different mouthwashes, and she's using one which is a chlorine dioxide solution.
Chlorine
And then
dioxide. Okay.
yes, and then there is another one is a regular Listerine, which is a classical Listerine, which is approved by dental association. So there's only one specific one that she suggests, or classical one. Okay, we're not talking the fancy ones that they have now. She's talking, and then she is teaching how to brush the teeth in the correct way using
Okay.
clean and something that most people do, they put toothbrushes one to next to each other,
Yeah.
and it's a huge mistake. You cannot do this, because if you have, let's say, family of 6 or 7 or 8 children, which is crazy, then you have a toothpaste of everyone touching each other, then you basically transfer the same bacteria to
Bacteria.
everyone. So in that case, she suggests to have individual, ceramic holders, and then
Oh,
individual toothpaste are further away from each other. She suggests to have a two different, one for the morning, one for the evening toothbrush.
wow.
And then you're using the Crest formula, and you brush your teeth, and then you finalize with the, unfortunately, the with a mouthwash that many people say this is not healthy, this is not good, but it contains fluoride, but a different kind of fluoride. Now that's another thing. Like, don't, people should not bite me, because I'm saying that, because there is different fluorides. Okay, you
Yeah.
need to understand that not everything that you hear on the all the fluorides. Now there's a whole
Yes.
thing. All the doctors will now holistic will tell you that's not good. Yeah, everything goes into the garbage. But many holistic dentists don't understand, the issue that I see is that, yes, you removing the tooth, yes, you're doing this, you're doing that, but once the microbiome is not fixed, and some cases is so severe that you no longer can play around, you cannot give me Revitin or other healthy toothpaste because they are not strong enough. It's same thing. Sometimes the gut flora is so damaged, and then you treat me holistically, you basically causing more damage. That's why I have all these people taking the brush to a toothpaste with hapo capsule, whatever the name is, hipo
Appetite
hapo,
supplement.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? Their teeth crumbling. And I hear so many cases of this, and yes, it's healthy, yes, it's good, but if your microbiome in such a severe case, you have no time now to using hypo blah blah blah, because while using this you crumbling your teeth, and so it
Yeah.
becomes worse, and then you end up in the doctor, they pull your teeth, and now what? Now you don't have teeth.
Oh,
See, the
interesting.
idea is we need the solutions. You cannot just, like all these books I have about holistic dentistry, and took me many years to realize, yes, it's good holistic dentistry, but for people who have such a damaged teeth, it's actually not going to do anything.
Right.
It's actually okay. So same comes to the shampoos, right? Some people need something more stronger, and that's okay. Once you heal your gut, then you can go do all the healthy toothpaste and healthy soaps. You
Yeah,
understand? It's like
I do.
opening the vision. Think outside of the box.
Right.
That's what I figured that out. I mean, most people are, oh, eat clean and let me pull your tooth out. I mean, yeah, you pull the tooth out, but my microbiome is not good. Nobody speaks about that. She speaks about that, and I love that she promotes this junky stuff, but in reality it helps.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen
a lot of
cases.
pharmaceuticals help too. I mean, it's not like they're all bad. It's just that's not the only thing we want to reach for all the time. And when we do, use it temporarily. I'm totally I'm down
Exactly.
with that.
Temporarily. And then you can switch. Once you fix the issue, then you switch. Obviously, you work with it by restoring your gut flora. And then you brushing, you so you got good habits. You're taking xylitol. She's so much into xylitol, which is all studies speak about the xylitol, how good it is.
Yeah,
And then after, if you have acidic mouth, just put few crystals after you finish eating. Put a few crystals of xylitol. It will stop from. I don't know so much about the gums. Some people suggest chewing gum, but let's say I love gum. I can chew gum for 6, 10 hours. Is it good for me? No. So I better avoid the gum. So xylitol is better. So few xylitol crystals, it will help. And I see how immediately after the meal you feel like, right, this acidity that eats up your, you feel the saliva. If you put few crystals in few minutes, you feel like the pH restored in the mouth.
yeah,
So this is what she's teaching, and I would
yeah.
really help. But if you're a baby, or you have a baby just born, and now you are giving him a proper habit, right? Now you building his gut flora, you using a good healthy toothpaste, you use different toothbrushes, you keep it away, then you're on the right path.
Right,
This is what I'm trying to say is like you need to accordingly fit to each case. The
right.
ones that have already severe cases, that the gums are, you can actually see the roots, how severe the case is.
Yeah.
What can get worse than this?
Right. I
you
think
know
teaching oral hygiene is super important. And, instead of really teaching oral hygiene and parents having some kind of structure that way, we've just kind of put fluoride in the water supply, dumbed down generations of people with fluoride, and didn't really solve teeth problems. I mean, maybe, but fluoride
no,
is
it
not the only.
destroyed the gut flora.
Oh, fluoride is terrible in on many levels. So, and people can look that up. It supposedly calcifies your pineal gland.
Right.
It displaces, iodine, so your thyroid doesn't get the iodine it needs, although that's somewhat debatable. And it's not something we want to ingest. So I think, I do see a fair amount of gum disease and tooth problems. And most of the time it's because one, people have horrible oral health. And you need to brush your teeth at night. That is like the most important time to brush your teeth because you're sitting there for, you're laying there for 6, 8, 9 hours with whatever was in your mouth after you ate dinner, creating all this other bacteria, unwanteds that are growing out of control. They get into the gums, they make biofilms, and they're really hard to get rid of. So
Right.
teaching oral hygiene is the most important thing. And then, the tools that I use, obviously we want to talk about diet because diet and teeth health are intertwined and they're completely relatable. So, obviously sugar. Sugar is not a food group. Sugar, obviously our bodies need sugar for fuel, but not refined sugar. Dump the
Right.
refined sugar, get rid of the cookies and the cakes all the time. Cakes and cookies are not snacks, especially for children. Don't forget about fruit. Like eat fruit, like eat vegetables, get rid of all the stupid snacks that people seem to think is good for them. And we have
Right.
a sugar problem, and that's why we have teeth problems. It's not because of lack of fluoride. So
Right.
fluoride has its place, fine, but you're spitting it out. I don't really like my kids to get the fluoride treatments all the time at the dentist, but once a year is fine. But I teach my kids oral health. We
Right.
brush our teeth at night and brush our teeth in the morning, and I don't go overkill and brush after lunch or anything, but you supposedly you need to brush after every meal. I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. Obviously, it's a good thing. But at the very least, floss and brush at night, and you will have amazing oral health. So
Right.
that's one thing. Cut the sugar, cut the crap. That is a huge indicator if someone has a horrible diet. Sodas, sugary drinks, dump them. They're terrible. They're terrible for your body. They're terrible for your teeth. And then we want to talk about stomach acid. We want to talk GERD. I think GERD, poor microbiome, like diversity, and GERD, which is gastroesophageal
Yes.
reflux disease or acid reflux, is a huge reason why people, besides all the other things I mentioned, have poor oral health. It's because that acid comes up and it really displaces a lot of the good bacteria that's in the gut. So
Right.
address acid reflux, and we can do that in several ways: doing bitters at night, getting off your proton pump inhibitors, weaning off, and setting your gut straight. That's a whole different conversation, though, too. You can
True.
go back to our digestive talk, which was one of the first ones that we did, and we do talk about GERD and the ways to address GERD. Um, and so, I lined them up. In my opinion, those are the reasons why people have horrible oral health. And I hear from the dentist, you have a high cavity index. So what the heck does that mean? Like a high cavity index. I think you're missing the point, dentists. Maybe not the natural dentists. They get it because they're using probiotics in their toothpaste. Like when you brush your teeth with probiotics. That's a huge way to mitigate, some of the bacterial overgrowth that cause the problem. So, but not a
Right.
lot of dentists are doing that. They're using fluoride. They're not even talking about gut health. And so I think a high cavity index means poor gut health and crappy diet. That's what I think it means. Um,
And the calcium deficiency, let's put it out there as
and
well.
what? Calcium
A
deficiency?
calcium deficiency, yeah. All
Okay,
the
well,
dental issues comes with the calcium deficiency, but why we have a lack of calcium? Well,
yeah, but
because we don't have a
that's
good
gut.
microbiome,
We're back to gut
and
health again.
exactly.
We're
So,
not
but
assimilating our minerals. We're not getting it into our bones.
right, exactly. But people don't connect this. They think dental is the problem. Dental is here. The gut here is there. No, it's
The
all
mouth is not connected
intertwined.
to any other part of the body.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Okay,
you
so
want to
I've lined
intertwine.
all that up. I've got, all the reasons why, and the way I address gum disease. Again, I use the happy gums. I'm telling you, this stuff is amazing. These frankincense myrrh, these resins are amazing antimicrobials, the yarrow, the neem, and I put xylitol in it. And I want to bring this point home because it's like xylitol, that will kill my dog. I don't want to use that. Well, xylitol is a sugar alcohol, right? And you've probably heard of mannitol before too, which is mannose. Xylitol makes xylose.
Right.
These sugar alcohols are symbiotic with our mouth and our gut and our urinary system, and they create what we call glycoproteins, which I'm getting a little sciencey here, but what it means is a sugar and a protein. And so these sugars line our mucosal membranes and protect against all sorts of insults. And what the xylitol does is it lines the eyeballs, the sinuses, and the mouth. And that protects our mouth or sinuses and our eyeballs from bacteria, from the things that we introduce in our, from walking out the door every day. We're inundated with viruses and bacteria and debris and all this stuff. And what we eat, the xylitol or the xylose protects the mouth. So that's why we use xylitol in gum and in mouthwashes and in the Xyclear, like the sinus sprays, because it's gonna address that inflammation. It's gonna redress any surface area injuries or inflammation, and it's going to ward off any bacteria from sticking, and then your body's going to be able to take over and just deal with it. So I definitely use the Happy Gums with the xylitol in it. Obviously addressing any teeth brushing issues, but the other thing I do is immune tonics and gut health issues. We address those, but immune tonics. So you have somebody that suffers from gingivitis, chronic horrible gingivitis, or any kind of gum disease, treat inside as well. So immune tonics, like I make the deep forest immunity, but any kind of mushroom that you're eating on a regular basis is going to get into your bloodstream. It's going to get into your body, and it's going to prompt that immune response. It's going to activate that immune response, and you can actually feel it working. If you have issues with your mouth and you take an immune tonic, you'll get heat all up in here. You'll feel it, absolutely feel it, and it's killing off the bacteria that's getting up into the gum and into the bloodstream. And so it's a great thing to do before you go to the dentist as well. So you don't have, like, if people, have heart issues and that whole thing, taking antibiotics, I suggest people start doing immune tonics before they go to the dentist. You're not killing things. Remember, we're supporting things with immune tonics as opposed to kill, 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 And so
True.
that's
It's
what
also
I do.
rebuilding.
It's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
also rebuilding 100%.
Right.
Mm,
And instead of the kill, kill, kill aspect, which I think, you know, just going off that whole parasite extravaganza that's happening right now, you
that's
know,
not right.
everyone has a parasite. Well, when you start doing anti-parasitics on a daily basis because you think you have a parasite, I'm not saying people don't have parasites, but first figure out if you have one and then address it. Because I've seen people actually kind of screw up their gut taking
Yeah,
these anti-parasitics just because, someone on the interwebs said that they have a parasite because everyone does. Well, I don't think everyone does. And I think that a lot of people do. And it does go unaddressed sometimes. But let's talk about what parasite. We had that talk. Oh gosh, that was several weeks ago, several months
right. We
ago.
spoke about several months ago.
So
We
you can
spoke
search
about the
our
parasite.
Spotify and check out the parasite talk. Um,
I
and
would add one more thing that
yeah,
you so beautifully covered. And while you've been talking, I something come up into my mind, and I like said, okay, so people don't forget that's also blood flow toward the area. So if you
right.
want to heal, right? So the tapping and the clapping over those areas, creating circulation,
Yeah, we're
it's
tapping,
absolutely
tapping.
essential. So especially in your back, because that's where the blood flow. Most time we are sitting with our head down, or if we are on the phone, then it's actually we have issues here, and there is a
Yeah,
stagnation. Blood is not flowing to your teeth, and if the blood is not flowing, then
yeah.
there is a basically there is no nutrients that are feeding the
Or
area,
immune
and then
or immune
right.
cells. Right.
Right. So, and then basically you have a food and it's stuck here, and there is no blood flow that's coming here to fight, feed, nourish, detoxify, and you end up with this toxic thing. It's also dry mouth. It's a huge issue, right? So that's why xylitol really helps. One drop of a xylitol on the tongue helps very much. I also found the cayenne, obviously, it's wonderful. Put drop, and you'll see right away, because in reality saliva is also the one that heals. Saliva is
Right.
basically the one that brings every the saliva is the one that destroys and also
Yeah.
heals.
Yeah.
So yeah, so create saliva, make sure that you are tapping and clapping and working on your areas, bring in circulation, teach your children to do the same. So yeah, so I think we covered so nicely.
I think we covered the tooth issue and
You know,
yeah.
I also would
Yeah.
suggest don't do cleaning all the time. And when you go to dentists and all the time they clean, actually what happens is that the ones they clean and looks really nice, they actually touch certain area, a little bit blood coming,
Yeah.
and if you didn't fix your microbiome, and then you actually now have a much more deep pocket where the bacteria will settle. So you
Yeah.
basically shooting to your own leg. That's what it is. You basically going and all these things that are cleaning your teeth, you actually, that's what I'm saying, like you really have to treat your gut flora, so that way your it will be coated like you mentioned so beautifully. But once you each time poke this area and you do working on your gums, you reintroduce the bad guys, and that can cause in
Wouldn't it
more.
be nice to have like a nice, well, the probiotics in the toothpaste? I don't know how that would work, but or
I
just
usually would suggest
a
Sarah take
probiotic,
probiotic.
like a probiotic mouthwash after, like just break up a capsule and
So when I work
okay.
with probiotics, the first thing that I learned is before you go to sleep, you actually open the capsule or use the powder. You can use superdophilus, you can use a bifidonate or bulgaricum, let's say, or combination of all three. But let's say superdophilus in that case. You open up, you mix it with a little bit water, and you chug it down. You
Yeah,
can swish it and then go to
great.
sleep. Do not drink after. Do not have another piece of chocolate or
No.
some herbal tea. Well, I have this bad habit that after brushing, cleaning my teeth, I want to drink my cup of tea, and it's like okay, and my tea is with a little bit honey. So what I do in this case, I have near my bed a small glass jar with a xylitol. So right
Oh,
before I
great.
go, after I had my cup of tea and I feel like I'm ready to sleep, I open my mouth and put a little bit. I don't know if it's a good thing, but that's what I do, and it really helps to balance the pH. So
Yeah,
when I wake up, I don't feel like blah blah. It
yeah.
feels very good, but not
Okay.
always. Sometimes again comes listening to your inner voice. Sometimes I just also drink probiotic and just go to sleep, not to ruin, So yeah, it's individual, but yeah.
Yeah. Great. Super. So
Let's
we
cover
covered that.
next
That's
next next thing.
yeah, so what do you want to talk? Well, I want to just go into like, have you ever had a dream that your teeth fall out?
Oh my gosh, that's actually not a good dreams, and
It isn't.
it's actually say someone will pass away. So that's
Well,
why
see, I look at it differently. I don't look at it that way. And
okay,
so I kind of want to just touch on the energetics of it a little
okay.
bit
So
because the
touch
mouth and
energetic
the throat chakra, like, so we'll talk about the throat chakra just for a second.
talk.
So the throat chakra, if everybody knows the chakra system, most people might, some people might not. It's the seven major energy centers in the body. There's several more above the head that I won't talk about. But the throat chakra is the seat of communication. It's considered well, it resonates to the color blue. And I do Reiki, so I check in with all these energy centers. And when we're talking about the mouth, we're talking about communication. And if someone has issues with their mouth, whether it's literally talking too much or not talking at all, or tooth problems or canker sores all the time, we really want to delve into what this communication center is up to. Is it imbalanced? Is it too open, too closed? What can we do to balance that communication aspect? I mean, we all know, like, I think we all can jive with this concept, and we know the people in our lives that are like, they never say anything, they don't shut up, they have issues there, they're angry every time they say something, it's dismissive or rude, or you just know those people with the communication. We all have some sort of communication issue, I think. Some people's are worse than others. We're all on that, that bell curve of life, I say. But so we really want to consider energetically, like with that gentleman you were talking about, like what's going on in his life. He can't resolve this tooth issue. So I talk about the dream because I've had many dreams and my teeth fall out. And I really
Oh
feel
my
like
gosh.
it's not being heard.
Okay.
Okay. So there's something going on in your life. You're either not saying something or you're not being heard. So I would ask what this gentleman, like, I would go into that with him a little bit. Do you feel like you're not being heard? Is there something going on in his life where, that aspect of the tooth issue would resonate with him? So I just want to touch on that because every physical issue we have in our body is connected to some energetic aspect, something we either I believe, brought in from a past life, or we brought in into this life. We all have these imbalances, every one of us. We don't get out of this human existence without them. That's what we're here to do, is learn our lessons, right? So,
I love it. I love it. I
yeah.
tell you, I want to add something to it also. Well, why I said that right away this, because I have a very ancient book where they give you basic things, and then they give you a quick answer to the dreams. And in one of the dreams, this is what they basically say. Like they say, they give you an answer. If you saw a dog, let's say if you see a snake, that actually will bring good money.
Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, different things. If you see a flood of ocean, then it's a lot of knowledge. Like the water is knowledge, like sea water is knowledge. So different things, and obviously, that's why I don't really get into the dreams, because it's also can connect it to what you've seen today. Let's say if you saw some movie and then you suddenly 4 or 5 days later saw something, that there might be correlation. So
Yeah,
there's certain
right.
things,
Yeah.
right? So that's about, I kind of tend to avoid these thoughts because we can recreate. So
Yeah, and
that's
I think the dreams too that are poignant that I'm speaking about, like I've had really lucid dreams that I know are not my subconscious saying stuff about the day, because
uh-huh.
you wake up and you go, "Oh my God, I solved that problem," or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah,
these are like really lucid dreams, but also reoccurring dreams. Like if people have reoccurring dreams, then it's
right.
time to investigate.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, I worked with one such a lovely herbalist once, and he suggested to put something under the pillow. Is it was agrimony? I don't remember, to
Oh
put
yeah,
under
or
the pillow
mugwort,
agrimony.
mugwort, mugwort.
Oh, magwort. No, no, magwort. Exactly. Why I thought agreement. Okay, so
I
the
don't know.
magwort was, yeah, magwort. He would put the magwort. He would tell me, Have I put magwort everywhere, like under my pillow. I have a magwort, and then I have a good dreams, and I sleep so well. So magworts, if you're suffering from dreams, I don't know how we got from here to the dreams, but
Throat chakra.
um, that's beauty of it. Actually, I love it. So the mugwort, dry mugwort, or mugwort itself, put under the pillow. You're gonna have amazing dreams.
Love it.
And tea is also connected to heart.
Ah,
Many times in the old ancient times, whenever people want to buy an animal or see the person's health, they would open the mouth and they would see if the teeth are connected, if teeth are healthy, then they would just purchase this animal. I think they also have done this with humans as well, but your dental health shows also about your internal health,
your heart.
your
Yeah.
heart.
Mhm.
Specifically, it's on heart. And one more thing that what I wanted to mention about them, I forgot. Okay, so let's continue. If I will remember, I'll say it.
Just
But
blurt it out.
yes,
So,
but it just came up. Yeah.
okay, so we covered canker sores and dental issues. So, what else did you want to cover? Like cold sores or jaw issues?
Cold sores we can do definitely.
Yeah, so
But
cold
cold
sores,
sores is similar to the canker sores, kind of.
it's kind of similar because I think that canker sores can be viral. So there's an aspect to that that is overlapping, but canker, cold sores are pretty common. You know,
Right.
they're caused by the herpes virus, whether it's simplex 1 or 2, whatever. Um, it's just, it's persistent, right? So these viruses go dormant. So yeah, so Hava, you start. So tell us about
Okay,
what
so if right, so I have a couple cases of those ones who had it. The one was because of sitting too much in the sun that can cause it. The blistering and inside. So I would what I would suggest in this case is actually swishing with a golden seal, a few drops of a golden seal over the area, and then also uptake of everyone says is a lysine. This is how called
lysine,
the lys. Yeah,
lysine.
I'm sorry for my English, but the lysine. So I actually never really worked with the lysine much to tell you, but silver works very nicely. Silver hydrosol I found absolutely incredibly, and also honey, and and what else? Yeah, and obviously boosting the immune system. So in that case, I always suggest taking vitamin C daily. So, and when you see such thing, then you want to boost much more to help your body. See, your
Yeah.
body knows what it needs to do, and yeah, so that's it. Kind of
Yeah.
if something will pop out, I'll tell you more.
Yeah, so I see a fair amount of cold sores and herpes issues. It could be genital or oral. Both of these conditions can happen in the mouth or the genitals, apparently. So,
Right.
um, and I'm going to say most people have some kind of herpes virus in their body because chickenpox is herpes, Epstein Barr is herpes, cold sores and genital warts. I mean, genital herpes is herpes. So there are a few things that I do, and I've seen it's interesting how it manifests in some people because there you usually, your immune system takes a dive. A lot of people get cold sores in the fall. So our vitamin D goes down, right? And or a stressful incident. Oh, I got a cold sore. So
Oh,
stress
true,
is
true,
horrible for the
true.
immune system, and low vitamin D is not good for the immune system. So first you want to like fortify with vitamin D. And I've seen some people get these, it's oral herpes, but it's out their nose. Like they just get a really sore red nose, which is really odd. I've actually seen that a couple of times. Um, and but most of the time it's a cold sore. So
Hmm.
the first thing I would do is make sure that their vitamin D levels are good. They can have, I mean, you can have them checked, or you can take 5,000 IU's daily, which is a really safe amount of vitamin D. Make sure it's not a synthetic D. But it's always good to get your vitamin D levels checked every once in a while, especially in the fall to see where you're at, or even in like
They should
November,
just take
December.
vitamin D all the time.
Yeah. And you live
I
in
would suggest
California, but
everyone should take it.
everybody, yeah, I think it's good. Because a lot of people who are under methylators, which is another convoluted issue that we could go into at some other time, but your vitamin D can be low and you're in the sun all the time, or you're taking vitamin,
Exactly.
so you got to supplement. I totally think that's doable for most people. So support your body with vitamin D. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, but vitamin C for sure. So great suggestion there. But there's two herbs that I use for the herpes virus specifically is lemon balm, and I also like St. John's wort. And those two can be infused in oils and used topically, or I like to tincture them and use it internally. You can do tea as well, but I personally think that the tinctures are a little stronger. And I've helped people with both oral and genital herpes. And once you start doing those herbs, it just starts to go away. So instead of a 2 or 3 week outbreak, you only get a few days. Make sure your vitamin D levels are good. Obviously, you're eating well, but those two herbs are awesome. I love L-lysine is supposedly very good too. it doesn't always work for some people, but that's always it's a nice safe supplement to do. Um, and then there's olive leaf, which I use more specifically for Epstein-Barr. And I'm sure there's more herbs, but these are
Black
the ones.
walnut, Sarah. Black walnut.
Black
Black
walnut.
walnut is
Okay.
good.
I just, yep, that one's nice. The ones that I use, the lemon balm St. John's wort or olive leaf, I tend to just those work great too. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm sure there's many other antivirals that work really well. Um, the other one is Thuja, which is,
We forgot iodine.
and of course, iodine. Well,
Yeah, just
that's why black walnut works, is because it has
exactly.
potassium iodide in it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, topically, internally is wonderful and support the immune system. Yeah, vitamin D, medicinal mushrooms, and it just kind of keeps your body balanced. And especially so if you start to break out you're typically breaking out in the fall, start in August or September. Start fortifying your body before it even happens. If you're going through a stressful time, use some immune supportive plants and mushrooms, but adaptogens are nice in that instance as well. So there's many different ways you can attack it. And
Right.
that's what I would suggest people do. So
Yep. That's incredible.
it is incredible. And the plants are incredible. And you don't have to go to the doctor for it. You don't have to go on these harsh medications for it. So many
Or
people are
application
on.
of the salt or a bucket, something that will kill the bacteria, not going to do anything. You basically actually will cause to dive in deeper into the cells, and you don't want that. So,
No.
and also see, I liked when people understand that everything comes to the surface is just the ways of body to speaking to you
Yeah.
and telling you, guide me and help me, instead cover the issue in a minute. And people think like, oh, okay, I'll rub this and rub, and I no longer feel and my doctor gave me something. You don't understand. You don't solve the issues this way. It's not about quick fixes. It's about internal healing. And another thing, what I really want to people take from everything that we educate, do not expect your body to work like when you take antibiotics, like 1 2 3, it's done, because it doesn't work this way. Like what Sarah said also, stress, it's combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
One time I remember we moved so many times from one house to another, and one time I was so tired, my body was so exhausted, and then I break out all over. It was itchiness all over my face. It's because my body couldn't handle it. So you would go to the doctor, and he would just give you some medicine, here, take it. But it's not the issue. Maybe I needed more sleep. I needed more love, self-care. Don't look those side effects as a bad things. They are
Right.
the ways of body to telling you, please give me some more love. I mean,
That's right.
many times we're exhausted, that how's that our body's not working the way it should, like it's normal. i want
It
i want to,
is.
like, people understand that that's okay. If you have
Yeah.
a headache, then don't grab a Tylenol. Like, I just had a case in the morning. Someone was in Mexico in the hot weather for the 3 days sitting by the sun, so probably got a heat wave into. So he's suffering with a headache. He went to the doctor.
Be
No, he actually
dehydrated.
went to urgent care, and they gave him a medicine to like they say, take a combo of a Tylenol and this and that, and then they also gave him a shot
Oh
to
my
reduce
God.
the pain.
Oh
So
my
so
God.
so so just take this example. Somebody was sitting in the sun, burning himself down. He probably dehydrated, right? Okay, comes home having a severe pain. Is the answer is now shooting a medicine to suppress the pain, or say, thank you, what I feel heat. Okay, so we're going to start applying hot and cold. We're going to apply a little bit cooling, take some minerals, drink some herbal teas, have some ginger, help your body.
Right.
It's like, what the hell? No, he's taking Tylenol and another thing in combination
Well, you know
together.
what? Hava,
And
you just, this is why we do this podcast though, right? To empower people.
right,
People don't know what to do anymore to help their bodies. They've given up their power and they say, well, this person in the white coat will save me and help me. And now I feel cared for and nurtured. It's like, it's actually kind of sad,
it's
honestly.
absolutely sad.
And it's not resiliency. I also want to bring this point home. Herbal medicine is health freedom. Herbal medicine is building resiliency. This is why we do what we do. So people don't feel lost when something simple as a headache won't go away for 2 days. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have a headache for, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, that you shouldn't like get that figured out if it doesn't go away. This is not what we're saying. Because
Right,
a lot of times people go, oh, you must hate doctors. You probably don't like doctors. Like, why is it always a black and white thing? It isn't. But what we do this so people don't feel powerless in the face of some kind of imbalance that you just have to, it's kind of the analogy would be instead of using a sledgehammer, we just have to go click with our thumb,
right,
and so often people, it's a great example that you use to go on these harsh medications, and all you need to do is what you suggested, fortify the body, because honestly, I just went out to the beach a couple of weeks ago, and I used a little bit of sunblock just because I don't want to burn on my head. But for the most part, you cover yourself when you don't want to be in the sun. But if you do get too much sun, it really does put a number on your body. It is very depleting. And for like a day or two after, I was craving vitamin C. It's like, oh my gosh, really, the sun just takes it out of you in
right.
many different ways. So you brought up a good point about just getting the nutrients your body clearly needs after being in the sun for too long.
Right,
And
right.
it can be
It's
a lot of
just
different
so
things.
sad. And the person is hopping the Tylenol and this combo, whatever other medicine it is, and basically causing more pressure, more damage to the liver,
Yep,
more dehydration,
yep,
so much more damage. And also, when you're in pain, and then you cut the receptors of pain, you can do things that your body normally would say, "Hop,
yeah,
don't do it, lie down." So now you're actually pushing your body to the limit. You're destroying your defense system. And what you said about helping yourself, start being this hopeless, it comes into every levels. And
yeah,
I just had another client earlier today in the morning, and her mom is not feeling well, and and the daughter is doing everything to help the mom. And I said, like, yes, you do everything, you provide her this and that, but how is she? Is the tool to receive what you give? And the question is, no, do whatever you want. So she tells her, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, so you can send this positive and healing vibes to her, but if she's like, yeah, do whatever, then you basically cannot get these healing vibes, because you are yourself, as someone who needs to heal, are either not interested to heal yourself, or either are you are too tired and exhausted, which can happen. But in reality, if you want to heal, you're the one who needs to come. I'm craving this apple. I'm craving this juice. My daughter, can you give, my liver is swollen, can you give me the detox? Not when you expect somebody else to think for you.
right,
And that's this one Russian doctor. She's so sweet. She's such a sweet doctor. She once said, we need to help ourselves, because by the end the doctor goes home to his own family and
right,
treats his own family, and you end up with nothing.
right.
So enough with this bullshit. Come on,
Enough with
people.
the bullshit,
Start,
enough with giving your
yeah,
power away. You want to live a good life, freaking stay healthy.
exactly.
There are so many tools out there. But again, one tool is this podcast. and
Right. It's the,
and
I think it's
we're
the
doing
best
this
tool.
for free. We are not getting paid for this. So, and I don't
Exactly.
mind because I know, and I know you love to talk about this stuff, and I love to talk about it, and we don't need to get paid because maybe
Exactly.
someday we will, but for now, this is why
Listen,
we do this. This is service.
save one life, it's worse in this world. And
Right.
if we save two or three, and I'm sure there's so many people, this is when I say, like, I'm doing this because their lives worth, like, it's so much amazing that that you help somebody.
Yes.
Also, we help ourselves because we listen ourselves and we are talking and we're encouraging ourselves to do. And sometimes people think, oh, you know what to do. Like, it's not that I know. Every day I wake up in the morning, like, I don't know nothing. I have to learn more. And
Yeah.
then I found this knowledge and that, and I'm like, okay, write down. And like every day for me is like I'm starting all over again. So
Mm.
yes, maybe on a different level, but for you is maybe today you discovered our amazing podcast and you feel, oh my gosh, what they talking. But start implementing.
Yeah.
And we are here for
Start
you.
small.
Okay,
Yeah. All
that's
right.
it.
Well, we
We
should probably
finished
wrap
with
it
our
up.
monologue.
Yeah. Nice monologue. Nice
Right,
final thoughts to leave our audience on. So
exactly.
that's it for today. We've gone our hour, and we will see you back here in, oh my gosh, when are we coming back?
September. I think we have
September
a September.
6th?
I can. Yeah, I think so. I think
No,
it's September.
no.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you when.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up an
I think
hour.
it's the next
So,
Wednesday.
let's see. September. Okay, so we
Then
have September 25 one and
I think it's the 10th.
wait, September 10.
Yeah. So
That's
September
amazing.
10th, I don't know what we're talking about, but it's going to be good because I don't have the list in front of me. But again, we're probably going to go down to the chin. I don't know, or maybe with throat. Ooh, maybe we'll talk
Oh,
about
throat. Yes. Well,
thyroid.
actually, while you've been saying, I received a text that what should we do if there is a strep throat going around, we another neck started hurt and blah blah blah. Yeah,
Oh,
let's
so
speak
we'll talk
about
about
that.
that next time.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, because people have so much throat and they think it's a strep. We need to get a swab. Then they
Right.
get antibiotics. They go two,
Yep.
3, 4 rounds. They destroy their gut flora
Yep. And repeat.
and come back on September 10th to hear what to do.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.